So, hey everyone, welcome to the announcement and introduction of the 2025 class of NBC Universal Sports Tech. I'm Natalie, and I'll be guiding today's session as we meet the incredible companies in this year's program. This session isn't just about introducing your company. It's also an opportunity for you to hear each other's stories, ideas, and solutions. Together, you represent a diverse range of industries and technologies, so let's make this conversation a collaborative one. To start things off, let's get to know each of you quickly. I'm going to ask a few rapid fire questions that everyone will have the chance to answer, and then we'll dive deeper into your company's unique approach with sports tech. So let's kick it off with Nix from Orico. Who are you and where are you based, and what's your company and product in one sentence?
I'm Nick Sprague. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I am an investor, team member, and longtime champion of Orico. Our company delivers to the best teams and athletes in the world bioanalytics services that help their athletes stay healthy, perform better, and play longer throughout their careers.
That's awesome. We always love any technology that can further our favorite athletes, right? Make some even crazier plays and everything. So awesome. So Steven, we're going to move to you. Who are you? Where are you based? And what's your company and product in one sentence?
Cool. I'm Stephen Manning. I'm the CEO and founder of PAM. I live in Australia with my wife and son, but spend my time bouncing between my product and dev team in Australia and our customer and partnership teams in the US. PAM provides digital wayfinding for iconic venues and brands using our smart navigation platform. It connects customer journeys across digital screens, interactive maps, and web pages, ultimately improving the visitor experience and creating more revenue opportunities for our customers.
That's amazing. Awesome. Scott, I'm going to go ahead and move to you. So who are you? Where are you based? And what's your company and product in one sentence?
I am Scott Young. I am based in Miami, Florida. I am the co-founder and CPO of Transmit, and our product and software is focused on one sole objective: to maximize the revenue yield of some of the world's most innovative or valuable streaming content in an effort to better monetize live streaming media through innovative ad products that have been proven to deliver better viewer experience and greater performance for advertisers.
Thank you for that. I'm going to move across to Good John from Oz Sports. So Good John, who are you? Where are you based? And what's your company and product in one sentence?
Absolutely. So I'm Good John. Well, I am based in Reykjavik in Iceland. I am from Iceland, but the company is kind of all over. So what we do is that we deliver world-class sports production, like you see in Champions League's productions, with that fraction of the cost, 90% cost saving. So we are kind of like the new infrastructure after the floodlights, production infrastructure.
Amazing. So last and certainly not least, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Bill. So Bill, now that you've seen it happen, so who are you? Where are you based? And what is your company and product in one sentence?
Bill Bailey. I am based in Nashville, Tennessee currently. I am the head of sports entertainment for Satisfy Labs. I've been with them about 6 years. And we provide a conversational experience platform, and that powers seamless interactions that drive sales. They streamline operations and build lasting customer relationships, really between fan and brand for our now 700 plus customers.
Amazing. All of these companies are so interesting. So I'm going to go through one last rapid fire question, and we're going to go right back in the same order. So I'm going to start with you, Nick. What are you most excited about for the program?
I'm really excited about leveraging the incredible platform that Comcast has around marketing and commercial. I think Comcast's group of partners is extraordinary. I also think if you look at the rights that Comcast holds and who their partners are, ranging from the Premier League to now the NBA to the NFL, Olympic sport, women's sport, I think it's arguably one of, if not the most influential companies in the world of sports. And I think that that could be very advantageous to be under the umbrella with a group like that.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'd be remiss to say I appreciate you mentioning women's sports. Today's actually National Women in Sport Day. So you nailed that one. Extra bonus points for Nick today. Awesome. Moving on. So Stephen, what are you looking for most in the program, or what are you most excited about?
Yeah, sure. So first up, I want to share our market-leading tech with the SportsTech partners and build some great relationships with you guys while I'm part of this cohort. We want to create an initial set of partners just to prove our technology across their real estate portfolio. But ultimately, it's about connecting fans with what they love, simplifying connectivity, amplifying opportunity, and elevating that fan experience together.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Scott, what are you most excited about for the program?
Yeah, I'm really excited, or we are as a team excited about really collaboration with Comcast, with select Comcast partners, and problem solving some of the challenges in market, such as, really difficult to monetize sports rights. Subscription revenue alone is not able to fulfill that void just in that alone. So the industry is looking towards ad-supported streaming to solve some of that equation. Conversely, advertisers are looking for ways to gain better attention with audiences. Sports is the best medium to do that. I'm excited to discuss how our technology could be a critical layer to help Comcast achieve their goals as they try to redefine their ad-supported streaming strategy.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that. Good, John, what do you look most excited about for the program?
Well, absolutely. Well, apart from the classical networking that we all love to do, and it's basically learning from the masters. For us, it's a great honor just to have a deep dive discussions with the whole Comcast team, not only Comcast but some of the Comcast family of businesses like Sky Sports. These are the production teams that almost defined the sport that we work within. That is soccer, European football. So, but for us, and for companies like ours, we all feel that we have the absolute best technology in the world, and we know that we have. But working with the team at Comcast is all about kind of go to market, and defining and tuning and optimizing the product market fit, with our kind of core target group of companies. So and then in addition to that, it would be kind of plotting and planning potential pilots and things like that. So yeah, and the list goes on.
Yeah, we love to encourage pilots and POCs. Obviously, that's a huge goal of ours. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you, attack that beast. And then, Bill, what are you looking forward to most out of this program?
We're excited about several things, and again, our position is a little bit different, and we might be the OG of the group. We have a larger customer base already, but super excited about the energy that groups like this bring, right? That we don't always get a chance to be a part of. Networking, sure, but it's not even networking. It's even deeper than that when it's this kind of energy with tech companies in our space. Secondly, we are fortunate enough to work with a few partners already in the program, PGA and NASCAR, but there's so much more we could be doing with them, and we're really excited to be going deeper with that under the umbrella of Comcast, right? Which is someone we don't know a lot about. We can't wait to learn more about, and just their presence, like you said, in the broadcast space and other spaces is exciting for us to learn from.
That's amazing. Yeah, so it's great to hear from all of you, and I know the excitement surrounding our partners is huge, obviously. But now that you've all shared, I'm curious, does anyone see any synergies or collaboration amongst the technologies that are showcased in this room? And this I'll just turn over to everyone. Is there anything that jumped out after hearing from each other about your companies that you're thinking, oh, wow, my company could seamlessly plug in here, or we might be able to leverage each other at doing X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, Natalie, this is Bill Bailey. One of the things I'm excited about is if we are really sitting at the heart of our technology of between fan and brand and having those conversations, then there's a lot of other tech companies on this call alone that are releasing new technology that may need help in explaining it, whether it's internally to their customers or to fans. There's always this, when new technology comes out, and there's some exciting things I've already heard about on this call, then there's always a place where we could have some synergy where we can help explain that to the fan using our AI models.
Amazing. Were there any other synergies that stood out to anyone?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of overlap, to be honest. I mean, we're kind of all in the same game as such, but connecting people with the sponsors, the brands, contextualizing that in the physical space, IRL experiences, that's kind of where the next frontier lies. And if we're taking it out of the broadcast box right into the fans' personalized experience, that's really where the ultimate frontier is. So we're in the physicalized space of this and the screens, and it's bringing that advertising sponsorship kind of ideas right to that fan. So I see lots of overlap. Loads. I can't wait to meet you guys.
Yep.
Likewise.
If shall I jump on this? Nick,
Yeah, of
are you?
course.
Yeah, I can jump on this. So for anyone that is working with the video medium, I mean, we see anyone as a core partner that really needs to work with a video medium. For example, processing biomechanics data, like you guys at Oracle are working on, or even those that are working on enhancing the brands of the leagues, of the clubs, of the players. Because our job in this ecosystem is to provide all of the rights holders and data providers with the best possible raw footage from the games that we can possibly gain. So because we are into the computer vision, AI, robotic space, and the core piece of our technology is the AI close-ups, is to zoom into the action. Because what makes a great story in sports is when you can kind of feel the emotions and things like that. And most of the companies that are providing like AI cameras are always with this ultra wide, panoramic view, and when you want to zoom in just a little bit, everything gets pixelated. So that's not really the future that we see for the leagues. I mean, the leagues. It's so important for the leagues to get high quality content, even if it's just for Instagram and TikTok and Meta, other Meta platforms. So yeah, we would be kind of like the video platform partner that can feed you guys with great raw data to process.
Yeah, and so based on what I'm hearing, everyone here is basically satisfies an interesting component of the fan experience. Our lens is always coming from the ad-supported streaming lens and trying to innovate that space, but everyone here is really focused on surrounding 360 the fan with the best possible experience, whether it's physical, whether it's athlete-driven, or whether it's even new video technology production experiences. And that impacts our software just as much. I mean, the better we can integrate across the boards within those mediums, the more cohesive messaging and the higher impact brands can have when they deliver targeted, contextually relevant messages to viewers within sports programming.
That's amazing.
Natalie, I think if you look at the alignment is not just does one technology plug in to the other. I think that the alignment that's really interesting is how much one aspect affects the other. And so like ad tech, broadcast tech, right? Revenue management technology, things looking around sponsorship in and of itself that has nothing to do with the product on the field. But what we're seeing is as rights fees are increasing so much for the more mature sports, and as competition to break through is increasing so much for the emerging sports, things like product quality, things like do certain players play, do the stars show up those are the things that are starting to move the meter the most as to, well, what was my ticketing revenue? How many people did tune in to the game? How was I able to leverage my technology to monetize better that streaming platform, those advertisements, give a better experience to the fans? And what are the fans looking forward to seeing ultimately? So that's the alignment that I see around this, is that the old barriers between sort of what is business operations and what is on field or on court product, they are breaking down today, and it's becoming sort of one seamless chain of correlation from product all the way to fan experience.
Yeah, I love the lens you look at that at. I think you're very spot on there. And I agree with everyone that I think there isn't just one simple plug, right? But there's a lot of overlap in what you all are doing. And as avid sports fans, that make our experience when we go and actually do step out of the office a lot more enjoyable, right? So that's awesome that we have your technologies kind of leading that way. So now a bit of a collaborative Q&A for the group. So each of you have a question that you would like to ask one of the other companies. So Nick, I'm actually going to turn it back to you. You have a question for Stephen?
I do. I'm going to ask Stephen from PAM. Stephen, what's the most innovative way that you've used crowd analytics to enhance fan experience?
Yeah, cool. So we got a tool called Analytics that we can see where every fan is that's connected to our digital maps and kind of where they're going. Our vision is to be the world leader in intelligent environments. So our customers are loving the fact they're getting closer to their customers and learning how they can help them. And that's very empowering. It's like a classic human trait to help others, right? So I can't give you specifics because our data and analytics tech is so new, and we guard our customers' data and their operational insights pretty closely. But soon we're going to be able to share some use cases where venues are actively adapting and changing their spaces and places month to month, year on year, to improve those fan experiences. So can't give it away just yet. So
We will patiently wait until you can give it all away, Stephen. So Stephen, you had a question for Oz Sports.
yeah, absolutely. So Gudgeon, what's one unique game metric that your AI processing has uncovered so far?
Well, it's actually it's quite a lot. We are capturing quite a lot of data points per second per each camera. So the one that has been the most important for us is is a detection of figuring out, in the game of soccer, football, uh, who has the ball, who kicked the ball the last time, and the player in action, and I need to figure out, within like 20 to 30 milliseconds, as much information as we can about that player. Is it a player in team A or team B? Because our job is to bring production cost down by like 90%, but still kind of keep Champions League like quality of the broadcast. So we have a camera array, around the stadium that we permanently install, and we control them with robotics and optical lenses. And for our like cinematic live sports storytelling framing system, it has to know which team is in possession and what's going on in terms of framing the camera in the right way. And it might sound very simple, but this I would say this metric for us providing great production storytelling to our partners, just this metric, who is in possession, who has the ball, is a very important element to bring a fantastic storytelling. So I would pick that metrics because it's important for us.
Thank you for that. And so we won't make Bill go last always. So good, John, do you have a question for Bill from Satisfy Labs?
Absolutely. Okay, so Bill, so beyond the event tournament chat, how do you envision AI-driven fan engagement? How will it evolve, across different touch points, such as like ticketing, merchandising, or even sponsorship activations?
Great question. I think the aha moment for us was that those are all really the same thing in this postmodern world. One big conversation between a fan and a brand includes all those different areas. If you let it, right? If you too quickly try to answer a fan's question and deflect to an answer, then you've stopped the conversation. In reality, what our technology does is continue the conversation. If you think about the average, your average journey to go see a sporting event, it doesn't match the website where there's a tab for tickets and a tab for food and a tab for the venue. Those are just their org chart spit back at you as content. And really, my question is, hey, what's the food like? And maybe I haven't bought a ticket yet. Again, when I used to be on the ticket side of the desk, people would buy a ticket, then ask questions. Now, my daughter, who's 22, she asks questions and then buys a ticket. So if you too quickly answer her questions, you're going to lose that revenue. So the understanding that this all just one big conversation now between fan and brand. Be ready, have it, know all the answers, including how fast that ball was moving or who has the ball right now and where can I find an IPA and I want to go buy the newest kit. It's all one big conversation, and so we're doing more and more to embed the revenue streams and e-commerce into the chat to just keep going and keep talking to them more and more.
Yeah, I love that answer too, because I'm a very act quickly and then figure it out later. So I'm glad that you're solving for people like me and your daughter, because I will get there, and how is relevant, and what happens when I'm there is irrelevant to me. I'm like, I'm in, it's game time. So Bill, you have a question for Transmit and Scott. Would you like to take it away?
I do. Scott, with ad fatigue being such a talked about concern these days for all of us, how does your technology work to keep advertising relevant and engaging viewers?
Yeah, well, I think first it's important to examine why there is ad fatigue and why that's such a problem. And I mean, if you really look at it from the fan viewer experience, especially problem in live sports, we've been literally doing the same exact ad experience for the last 80 years, from the first time a live ad was delivered to a viewer on a TV screen. And we've just taken that and translated that to digital streaming. So the real challenge is, how do you augment the viewer experience with an ad-supported strategy that is more appealing and more fluid and allows the viewer to continuously watching? So that's what we built. I mean, we built a software solution that is able to create new addressable advertising inventory or advertising space, advertising opportunity outside of the traditional linear long duration ad pod break. So now you're not just one of many, you're able to stand out surrounding or engaged within a relevant moment of streaming content. So for example, how it's been used from some of our media partners is our system's able to identify, okay, you're watching a soccer match, goal was just scored. We're able to identify potentially information about each viewer, such as, which team are they a fan of? We can deliver personalized, contextually relevant ad messaging at the right time after that goal is scored. So we're not disrupting the viewer experience, allowing for continuous viewership throughout with graphics, images, even side-by-side video. And they have been able to message that viewer, congratulations, your team has just scored. Here's a special offer. Or, I'm sorry, your team just got scored on. Here's a special offer to console you for your time. And we've seen great results with that type of strategy. We're able to execute that at scale across a variety of event and moment types. We just launched a study with IPG evaluating the effectiveness of those of that type of advertising in-game ad experiences. And we saw a 17 times lift of brand recall, message recall, and favorability based off of viewers watching that type of advertising compared to that of traditional ad pod breaks.
Thank you for that, Scott. I appreciate the response. And then you have the final question for Nick at Orico. Would you like to take it away?
Yes. Nick, what is one example where your bioanalytics could significantly impact an athlete's recovery or performance?
Yeah, I'm going to give you two great ones. One is, for a long time, through our biomarker testing, we're able to identify objectively how well recovered the athletes are on a weekly basis. And we can then use that data for the practitioners to intervene on those athletes who need the most attention that week to ensure they're ready to play in the next fixture. I think the second thing that we're doing, which is really exciting, is we've developed what's really the first real-time precision early warning system around injury using movement data that we get from camera APIs. We call this motion signal. We've deployed this technology in the Premier League for the past 2 years, and we've actually been able to flag 90% of hamstring injuries between 2 and 15 minutes prior to when those injuries occur. And maybe even more impressively, we have a false positive rate of only 10%, which is a stunning result in the sports performance space. So using both biomarker inputs and camera data inputs, we're giving very valuable information to the teams that have an impact across the full value chain of sports.
Yeah, that's some incredible data. We appreciate you sharing that. So I just have one final question before we wrap this up and go. And I appreciate everyone's collaborative effort here. And we love to see all of the intersection of how we can work together. So I'm just going to go across my screen. Scott, I'm going to start with you. What would be the most remarkable outcome from being a part of the Sports Tech?
I think the most remarkable outcome would be testing our products across a series of the sports rights held portfolio throughout Comcast, and being able to prove, one, that we were able to meaningfully lift revenue and return on investment of media sports rights, and two, that we're able to deliver measurable impact and results on behalf of Comcast advertisers streaming into new ad experiences.
Amazing. Bill, what would be the most remarkable outcome from being a part of Sports Tech?
I think we have high hopes that we can take this conversational journey we're having, at the destination and take it to the broadcast and to, on the pitch and with athletes and everything else. And I think a lot of these partners can help us do that. And that'd be amazing. And then revenue. We always like revenue.
Who doesn't? Right? So, Stephen, I'm going to throw the same question to you. What would be one of the most remarkable outcomes from being a part of Sports Tech? You're muted.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Bill. I like the symbiosis that's going to happen with some of these our techs cross-pollinating, during this event and during this year. But we're already working with some of the members like NASCAR. I think we just signed another 3 of their venues this morning. And that's going thick and fast. And we're doing Formula One and a whole bunch of other big sporting kind of venues and locations and smart city districts. So the platform of what you guys are offering, I think, is really going to get our voice out there really quickly, and I'm really excited about the opportunity.
Good. We're excited you all are here as well. So, Nick, what would be one of the most remarkable outcomes from being a part of Sports Tech?
Comcast telling our amazing story across the sports world. I'm really excited about that. And I think that leads to building our client base across Comcast's broadcast partnerships, the leagues and teams that they work with, and ultimately incorporating our technology into the broadcast.
Amazing. And lastly, Gudjon, what would be one of the most remarkable outcomes from being a part of Sports Tech for Oz Sports?
Well, that would be looking at successful metrics about how we manage to elevate a league, that give a league better storytelling, and that way attract higher sponsorship deals, more advertisement revenues, and all of that through kind of multiple properties or like businesses within the group of family of Comcast businesses, both in Europe and in the US. So yeah, we are all about rolling out our infrastructure to help clubs, leagues, and to make the players look extremely well on the telly.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, that's a wrap for today's roundtable. It's been incredible to hear your insights and see the immense potential of this class, not just in driving individual innovation, but in shaping the future of sports tech through collaboration across industries. But this is just the beginning. Later this month, we'll officially kick off the program in Atlanta, where you'll lay the groundwork for your projects. From there, we'll head to Philadelphia to work closely with our consortium partners, turning your ideas into reality. The journey will culminate in New York and LA, where we'll celebrate your achievements and showcase the impact of your work. For those of you following along, these companies are redefining what's possible in sports tech. Stay tuned on our social for updates, behind the scene moments, and exclusive highlights as these innovators bring their visions to life. A huge thank you to all the teams for sharing your stories today. We can't wait to see what you accomplish next.